Hey, welcome to Excel video 478, everybody. I'm Nate Moore. I hope you enjoyed the presentation a couple of weeks ago if you were at HBMA's meeting in Las Vegas or last week at RBMA's meeting in Austin. And if you missed both of those, I hope you're coming to MGMA's meeting in Nashville next week. I look forward to seeing you then. If you've missed all three, I'd love to speak at your organization's meeting, do some business intelligence tricks and all kinds of good things the next time you're looking for a good speaker. What I want to play with today is I want to build a pivot table. We've worked so hard that we've got this Excel data model and it refreshes now and the relationships all work now. We've got all this Excel data model. To use some of the features, it would help to see it in a pivot table so you can see how these features relate. So we're going to build a pivot table today. From the insert menu pivot table like you're used to doing to build a regular Excel pivot table, except for rather than have the data here, like in the tab next door like we're used to doing in Excel, we're going to use an external data source and choose a connection. These connections in this workbook are one at a time, connect to one table at a time kind of connections. That's not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is the Excel data model. The data model has all four tables all in one place. They're connected with relationships. They're ready to go. That's what we want to start and open. The other way to get to this, if I cancel out of here, is if I open the PowerPivot tab, and I happen to have that open. If you go to the PowerPivot tab from the Home tab on the ribbon, here's Pivot Table. And if you click this down arrow, just a little sneak preview, there's a bunch of different things you can do with pivot tables, but we're not going there today. All we want to do is just a pivot table. So we'll create a pivot table, put it in a new worksheet. That works for me. And you just got to humor the CPA for a minute who can't deal with that extra extraneous column. Anyway, it's gone. The first thing you'll note with a pivot table based on the Excel data model in PowerPivot is rather than have a whole list of fields here, what it does is it groups them by table. So here's the build charges information. Here's all the fields in the build charges table. We'll put one in the pivot table. Now I have fees. Then what I can do is, let's say that I want that provider subcategory thing that we built the other day when we were looking at partners versus senior partners and employees and all. That's here in the provider category table. So what I'm going to do is let's take provider category, put that there. Let's put provider underneath it. So now I can see my charges by employee categories, and here's my partners. And then, let's shrink this up a bit so you can see it more. I'll double click that too. And here's my senior partners, and you can see the data in a pivot table. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to get started with today. There's a whole bunch of things you can do in terms of the active and all fields and the different tables and stuff like that. But now that we have a pivot table to see the data, some of the options that are in the PowerPivot ribbon start to make sense, and we'll work through those in the next Excel video. Thanks for watching.